Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 30th of July. So, well, what's going to happen with this euro? It's just carrying in this monthly choppy old pattern. It's, well, nearly last day of the month, isn't it? Is there one more? One more left, so we'll see how we go. But from here then, well, from here where? I had a long signal come in, but it's an intraday long signal which is nearly wore off on Friday. We have got the weekly pivot coming up above us. That might see a tap, but we've also got the daily pivot below us, so it's one of those. It could go either way this morning. It literally is a toss of a coin. The only thing to the upside, if it does move to the upside and break these prior highs here, well, that might give it a wiggle on. How far though? It runs into resistance in terms of the form of the weekly pivot. And back to a number of key moving average to 100 to 500 sitting above, 200, 100 and 500 all sitting above there. So there is resistance to the upside. It was in quite a tight old range on Friday. Maybe at some point we're going to see a breakout of this range, but well, we'll see. So maybe a marginal bias to the upside, but statistically we've got a downside draw on it. Pound dollar, well, look at that day on Friday, doji day, no real signals coming through on that, and it's just consolidated since that day, so it's got even tighter, this range at the moment. From a 4-hour perspective, yep, we got through the daily pivots, weekly pivots above, so maybe a slight draw towards that upside more into Friday's highs there, Friday's highs, last week's highs even, is potential. Never got back, just looking here. Never got back to Friday's pivot there at all, did we? But yeah, so all we got there at the moment is now these ranges are very close. It's like with the euro, so they could, if there is possibility, they could push through. But likewise, if this suddenly starts selling off, breaking through the trend line across the lows, well, again, looking at Friday's lows there, down to the S1, maybe more. So. They are very each way bets going on here, because there's a slight better direction with the pound still to the downside. The euro's just plateaued. Dollar yen, are we going to get a bounce? And it started looking like we might have a few times last week. And Friday it looked like it again, and Thursday rather, than on Friday it sold back off a little bit. May still have the bounce potential in it. Sorry, I put Andrew's pitchfork here only because it had done a butterfly pattern, and they work quite well for it. And well, at the moment, as you can see, it's finding support on that level. And well, target wise for that would be some initial targets would be up towards that 4 hourly 200, and it may draw it up that way yet. Side of that then, well. Yeah, higher low coming through, and we've hit the weekly pivot there, daily pivots through, so there's the possibility of the upside. It looks maybe a bit clearer. I would like to see correlation with the others coming down if that were the case. It's just like Friday, not particularly clear. I mean, it wasn't until the news came out on Friday that it eventually moved and strengthened, but has given most of those gains back already now. So potential, if anything, well, this could be, looking at a bigger picture there, maybe we'll see a bounce there, but not a clear decision there really. Aussie dollar, well, daily say it all. It's very much like the euro in terms of very little. I mean, just plateauing along here, and this is how these markets sitting. This is how they're sitting, and it's a case of trying to read them as they kick off this morning, or maybe later this afternoon, and give us a bit better clue. As ever, we don't need to be first in. Now, this has got the daily pivot above as well, so it's a bit like the euro from that perspective. Got the possibility there, sorry, the weekly pivot above, beg your pardon. Daily pivot, well, it's disappeared for some reason. It must be somewhere similar because it ain't there. Oh, there it is, it's below, it's at that 200. I'm just working out where it is. I can just see the line coming down to it. It's into its daily already, so it hasn't got the draw to the downside as euro has, but it, again, very bitty pairing. And finally, Canadian dollar, and this is going to be much another one of the same. although last week it did break that trend line in the end, sold off. It put a bullish Harami, then just put an inside day, so nothing obvious here. We've got the weekly pivot again sitting above. If anything, with a step down where it looks like it could have a bigger correction, but it may just have been that's it. Weekly pivot sits above, but when you come down to the lower time frames, it's not making it easy for us. So as I say, we've really just got that weekly pivot as a possible draw, but we got the weekly pivot above on the euro and the pound, etc., which makes me, with this above as well, which it's not a correlated market, it should be below. There you go. So not the clearest of markets whatsoever. News-wise today, not a lot of clarity. We have got some key news as we go through the week, particularly towards the end of the week, of course, non-farm payrolls. I'll update you on the news and the sentiment later on the weekly outlook, but for now, well, good luck with these, is what I'd say. Maybe again more patience. The euro and the pound, as I say, they've got the opportunities to move, but there's certainly not a lot of clarity. Maybe that'll be just a starting point, and it will be drawn to one of those levels, and thereafter we'll get a push back up towards these prior highs if it pushes to the upside. All runs down to if it starts selling off, maybe the prior lows there and the bodies of the prior lows may be a target. Have a great one. Bye for now.